All fair. There we go. Ricky, what magazine you reading there? It's got
Um,
picture of Keegan
well,
Bradley on the front.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of Keegan Bradley, but there's an interview with me in here that is I sometimes like I can't read it because it's in a foreign language, but I mean it's Vietnam Golf Magazine, so it's probably not in English. There is an
You
English
should show the
version.
picture.
No, well, yeah, I don't want to show the picture of me because I don't like it. But the cool thing is that the relationship with the guy who is in today's Friday Foursome actually started with this magazine. Kind of, we met online, and he offered to interview me, and here we are. That was a long time ago, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Jason, where is Les?
Les is a no-show. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he doesn't do that. Hashtag no show. I don't like it. I'm gonna give him as much of a hard time as I possibly can. That's unacceptable,
I
but
still
that's
think
okay.
that Les probably let you know and you just didn't see the email. That's
No, he
my guess.
didn't. No, he didn't. He wouldn't have copied you though because he doesn't know how to respond all
No,
whenever he
I know
gets
he
an
doesn't
email.
know what that CC is.
All right, let's stop making fun of him. Well, no, we could probably keep going. Today's episode of the Friday Foursome is presented by the Pac9 Network, and I am pumped about our guest. I've only actually physically met our guest one time. I talked to him. I feel like I talk to him all the time online, and I think that it's a little bit later in the day where he is, but we'll talk about that here in a second. We have Jason Boslow from Shop Junior Golf. Oh my gosh, there's Les. Really? He's going to join after we start. Let's give him a hard time, Jason.
His ears must have been burning.
That's funny. It takes him like 7 minutes to join. But today's guest is Bill Healey from the. I told you I was going to butcher it, and then I butcher it. Bill, take a couple of minutes. Tell us how to pronounce the name of the company that you work for, and who you are, and what you do in the golf business.
All right, the company's Quasar Group. We're actually registered in Singapore. We started in 2013 as a leisure management software firm to manage golf courses, spas, wellness centers, golf handicapping, golf booking, and just to do everything that a golf course would need to manage. And our focus being based in Singapore, or registered in Singapore, is to be a multilingual, a global system that can provide solutions in Chinese, Japanese, Burmese, Arabic, any language that our potential clients would need. So we've been focused on that for the past, since 2013. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of work. Personally, I'm based in Bali, nearby an international airport, so I can pop off to wherever I need to go, whether I need to fly to China, fly to Singapore, walk to the beach. I can do any of those things.
Speaking of the beach, I think you just came from the beach, and I think your clock's wrong though. It says 3:30. It's 12:30 where I am.
Well, it's also Saturday morning here, so if you need the Friday night scores, I can get those for you.
And Les, thank you for joining us 3 minutes late. I must say I almost booted you when you joined because you're late. What is your excuse for being late today, Les, from Pro Golf
Hey,
Now?
hey, we're dealing with the internet.
Oh yeah. Well, you
So
do live in
sometimes the internet just doesn't work, you know.
you do live
His
in
wife
the.
was late bringing him a soda.
Already got the coffee.
Ah,
So before we get started, I need to know how many languages you speak. Do you have just a laundry list of languages, and do you have a lot of struggles with speaking different languages when you go to these foreign countries?
Yeah, I'm still struggling with English. So
Me
I'm not
too.
getting into that one.
We all do.
And then I've been in so many countries for days at a time or weeks at a time that I pick up words, but not enough to really get me out of trouble. Enough to get me in trouble, but not enough to get me out of trouble.
Out of it. So you do travel a lot. I mean, my goodness, every time I look, you're traveling somewhere different. You do, like you said, live in a central location to be able to travel around Asia pretty easily. Do you ever get sick of being on the road all the time, and do you just like to sometimes come home and walk that half a mile down to the beach?
I do travel other places, beaches nearby as well. Yeah, I don't mind coming home for maybe a couple of weeks, but I think I need to always be off somewhere within a month's time. If I got stuck in one place for 6 months, I think I'd go crazy.
That's funny. Well, Jason,
It's addictive.
Jason,
yes.
there are just so many questions that I want to ask this guy, but I'm not gonna steal the thunder. I may steal Les's thunder because he was late and I'm mad at him. But kick it off.
Yeah, so my first question is I know that you are into digital marketing and digital marketing software, and I'm curious, what are your opinions and some of the trends that you're seeing in that, and what direction do you see all of that going?
Well, I'm personally quite heavy into things like LinkedIn and Facebook, um, and just promoting our company and helping courses promote themselves through social media. But we're not tied too heavily into a particular social media because what we may use in the U.S. or Canada or Europe, we can't use in China. So we have to be flexible enough to modify and go into to work with our partners in China to go into WeChat or Weibo or QQ or one of the others. So we have to be flexible enough to direct our clients into different social media platforms. And then assist them with sharing handicapping information, sharing golf booking information through the social media sites.
Now you bring up a good point about Facebook in China, and I spent some time in China last year, and I used a VPN on both my phone and my iPad to be able to connect to Facebook, and that's obviously frowned upon. But what struggles do you see with things like that being blocked, and do you ever foresee a day where they're going to let that be something that users can access?
Yeah, when I'm in China, I have to use a VPN as well to get to my Facebook and a few of the other sites. So it's something that most of us who travel or the international managers that are there have to work with VPNs to get on these sites. I don't see China opening up all too quickly on that because they want to build up their local companies, build up their local presence in social media as well. They're aiding their companies to become national leaders, to become global leaders in those sites.
Right, and
I'm
the Chinese,
they're
not active on digital. I mean, they're insanely active on digital media. They just use separate networks. So what would be like the comparison in China to Facebook here? You mentioned a couple.
Weibo. I'm into Weibo, which is
Never even
quite
heard
similar.
of it. Have you, Ricky?
Well, they've got more users than Facebook. QQ, I use that quite a bit. They're quite similar to Facebook as well, and they're as big or a bit bigger than Facebook too. So they've got a huge market to pull from.
So could we join those networks here in the United States? But I mean, obviously the language barrier would be. But at the same time, Facebook translates foreign languages into English. Do they translate as well? Or I'd be interested. Like, I think it'd be fun to create a presence on a network that's one, bigger than Facebook, and two, that nobody's ever heard of. Nobody here, anyway.
Well, nobody there. Yeah, I use Google Chrome quite a bit, and that translates for me when I'm on those sites. And there's a number of Western people that get onto those sites, so there's some English, some other languages on those sites. I'll send those links to you.
Yeah, please do, because I would just, if nothing else, from an experiential aspect, because we are, I mean, Trin is such an international company. We have courses in China and Japan and all over the world. So I think it'd be really cool to just, if nothing else, experiment and play around.
Yeah, I'll send those links to you. I'm on 3 of them, just because I need to be.
Right.
I don't use them as much as I use Facebook at this point or LinkedIn, but yeah. I think you should have a presence.
Okay, Les, I'm going to let you ask a question, even though I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you a lot, Les. You should not do things like that.
Well, as I was trying to prepare for this interview today, I noticed that your website was parked. I did find some information about you on LinkedIn, of course, and I was just wondering why, there just isn't a lot on your website. Any reason?
You don't know because the website's parked.
Yeah, you might not know.
Yeah, we're a young company. We've been actually very active in promoting our system, or developing our system that we've been releasing the past few months. We didn't want to say too much until we had a bigger user base. Okay. And we are focused first on China and the Asian market. So we are, I recognize that it is a bit behind on our website. We are pushing to get that going soon.
So, but the website talks about more than just golf. You've also got spas involved in marinas. What in the world are you
Yeah, I
doing with
saw the marina
marinas?
one. I was
Like,
kind of intrigued by that.
yeah, me too, because I was like, yeah, marinas, that's where you park boats. I didn't know there was like management of marinas. Could you maybe hit on that a little bit? I don't know if you have a lot to do with that on a day-to-day basis, but
Well, it's like a golf academy where golfers may reserve a driving range bay in advance for maybe an hour or 2 hours to hit balls or for lessons. People have to reserve boats. You're not going to take your boat all the way to some marina and then find out there's no place to park it. So they have to have reservation systems for marinas and also track the electricity use and all the utilities that they hook up to.
that is a
So it's
really, like, I never would have thought that. I'm not a boat owner, so that's probably why, but that's really cool.
Hard to have a boat in Arizona, isn't it, Ricky?
We have lakes.
Had to say that.
All right. Well done.
So I have a question about the state of golf in the Asian market. Clearly it's in a form of decline in the States right now. Adams Golf just announced that they were closing their Dallas headquarters, and Ricky doesn't even watch golf anymore on TV because Tiger's not around. So what is the state of golf right now in the Asian area, and is it growing, and why?
It continues to, well, Japan has been in decline for a few years. Korea is a bit stagnant right now. China continues to grow. I was just in Beijing 10 days ago, and maybe 6 or 7 or 8 of the courses are going to be shut down in Beijing to make room for other business. But that will be picked up by other sites such as Hainan Island, which is their big tourist area, or Yunnan province, where it's southern, it's warm year-round. So the tourist areas, warm climates are picking up in golf. The big metropolitan areas are scaling down their golf. So they're moving away from the cities, but they continue to grow in China. China continues to be our number one focus with golf solutions.
So, what's it cost to play 18 holes in Beijing in U.S. dollars? Like, when I was there, I didn't even think about playing golf, and I'm not even sure if I saw it.
Of course, you were on vacation.
Yeah, right. You get it. Hey, but Les, I am going on vacation in a couple of weeks, and I am going to be playing golf. So.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Trying to think when I last played golf, paid for golf, I mean.
If you were to pay.
I think you're looking at anywhere from $50 to $100 US for a round of golf.
Now, does that
Beijing or Shanghai.
Right? So does that have an impact on people that play? I mean, because that's a lot of money for 18 holes, potentially.
Well, I actually did pay for golf at Mission Hills about a year ago, which happened to be Ernie's first round of golf ever was on Mission Hills in China. But it was about $100 for a round, and that was inclusive of caddy.
Oh, okay, cool. Do most courses have and encourage caddies?
Most courses in China, Korea, and Japan require caddies, so you can't even play around without a caddy.
That's actually, I've never played around with a caddy, so maybe I need to go back to China. Les, I'm sure you've lived in China, and my gosh.
No, but I have played golf in Thailand, and they did require you to take a female caddy. One of the questions I had was, in the U.S., who is actually leading the development of golf in China, other than Jack Nicklaus? Of course, we know he's building courses over there, but is there any corporations or who's actually leading the charge there?
Well, I know Troon has a course or two in China, and they're growing within Asia. IMG, they've been working in China for a while. They've been working throughout Asia. Western firms, there's a lot. Well, in China and throughout Asia, they're locally owned, but they just contract for design and development and maybe management for a few years. So I can't say there's a single significant leader, but Nicholas is there, Troon, IMG, and a few others.
Is the Nicholas name doing well there, or are there other big names that are actually involved over there?
Well, the group I met, one of the groups I met in Beijing was Nicholas. and they're expanding in Beijing. Their course is doing very well. The club's doing very well, and they recently signed an agreement to manage courses for Hainan Airways, which I think there's about a dozen courses they have there. So, from what I read from the meetings I have, I see Nicholas is expanding quite well into China, and I think China is their number one focus. And I do see also Montgomery getting into a few places, Faldo. So it's a mix across the market there.
Is China still in one time zone?
Yes.
'Cause I remember when I was there, I traveled inland quite a bit, and everybody's on the same time, and the sun might come up really late. The further
Still
east
one
you
time zone.
Okay.
So you've played courses all over the world. What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite track?
Oh, jeez. I like Bali Nirvana, just down the road. I just played that once, but it's just down the road from here. But I've actually played some small courses that I've really enjoyed too, where they squeeze 18 holes onto a small property. Like I played Mombasa Golf Club on the coast of Kenya, very small, couple of holes crisscrossed. But I enjoyed the ocean courses, good view, and really makes a difference on who I'm playing with as well.
Yeah, you're right. You can have a horrible round of golf, and the people you play with matters more than the score. Are there any courses that you really want to play that you haven't had the chance to yet, that are kind of on your bucket list for courses you need to play?
I'd like to play Congressional. I'd like to play that course in Dominican Republic. That's quite highly ranked. But yeah,
I just want to
play
go to all of those places. I don't even care if I play there. I just want to go there.
See, Les, that's why I don't always play when I travel. It's okay for me to go somewhere and see the place and, eat the food and experience the culture. I don't have to play.
Well, you can do all that stuff and still play golf.
No, I know, but I only get a week or two whenever I travel. So I am going to Oregon next week or in 2 weeks, and I will be playing pronghorn. I will take pictures and we'll show you that I'm taking rental clubs though. I'm not taking my clubs. I'll use rental.
Just make sure you post it on All Square.
Yeah, have you been using All Square?
I have.
Okay, good. Because
I posted my round yesterday.
He just emailed me. Patrick actually emailed me this morning. I was like, oh, don't tell me that I haven't been using. I know I haven't been. Anyway, Jason, let's kick it back to you.
So I got to ask, since you are such the world traveler, what is, I know airlines domestically, but not necessarily internationally. So what's your favorite airline to travel on whenever you're jaunting across the world as you do?
I like to fly Singapore Air. Singapore Airlines, also Emirates Air. Those would probably be the two that I'd prefer.
So why? I'm curious. I've not flown either one of those. I was hoping you were going to say Etihad, but have you flown Etihad?
No, not yet.
You should. # sponsor name drop. So why do you like Singapore Air? What makes just the overall experience? Because I feel like most, domestic, Delta is Southwest, is American, is United. They're all the same. I feel like.
Well, yeah, my older brother's a pilot with Delta, flies Delta. But why do I like Singapore Air? The flight crew. They've got that.
I'm guessing you've also been upgraded to first class a few times. Or you might also just fly first class. I don't know. Les flies first class. Oh, no, Les doesn't fly. I forgot.
Les doesn't even fly. And I'm surprised Les has visited all of these places because they probably don't serve curs.
No, I actually in the Far East, I liked flying Nippon because the service was really good. They had a lot of movies to choose from, just all kinds of stuff.
I pick my airline based on the movies. Are you kidding me? Come on.
You remember half a year ago that Malaysian Air flight that went from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing disappeared?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was on that same flight about 2 weeks ago.
No way.
As we were coming into Beijing, they circled around a few times in a holding pattern, and then we instead of landing in Beijing, we went to Shanghai. Landed in Shanghai.
Wow.
Spent 3 hours on the ground, then we took off for Beijing again. circled again, went back to Shanghai. So the flight from KL to Beijing, I landed twice in Shanghai.
So the cool thing about that flight, though, is they found it. They know where it is.
They found it.
No, the flight that he was on.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is still lost.
And we did make it to Beijing a day later.
A day later.
So Vietnam Golf Magazine, are you still affiliated with them, and if so, in what capacity? And where'd that relationship come from? Because, like, I wish I could read it, because it looks like it'd be an enjoyable experience, but...
Nice to you're
I write for about 4 or 5 publications, including Gaming and Leisure Magazine in Las Vegas and a couple others, a few others. But Vietnam Golf Magazine, I like writing for them. I've written for them now about 18 months, and I continue to. I give them golf insights into technology, into various management practices, and also every month they do a nightclub feature, and I arrange a nightclub feature for them every month with high-resolution photos, a profile of nightclubs. So
that is awesome. I feel like we've got so much in common. If you like craft beer too, then I think we're the same person because we're into dance music. We both play golf. That's fantastic. And you do like craft beer. I know that.
I drank a craft beer the other day myself.
Bud Light is not craft beer.
No, I drank a craft beer in Bristol, Tennessee the other day.
What did you drink?
I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty good.
Well, yeah, Ricky, we first met in Phoenix. I took you. Well, we met at that restaurant developed by that Michigan guy, Alice Cooper.
Yeah, that guy.
Alex Cooper.
Alice Cooper. He's a former singer, golfer now, based in Phoenix.
Alice
I
Cooper,
guess.
I know.
Yeah, he lives out here and he plays more golf, I think, and he's actually a pretty good stick. Like he's got some game.
Someday I want to interview him for one of the publications, but haven't gotten around to it yet.
Well, maybe we can make that a reality. Let's talk offline and see if we can't put the right email address in your inbox.
Okay.
So
since you write for copy magazines, do you blog?
Not a great deal. I do have a blog, but I just put my various articles on there. So the 4 or 5 publications, I repost my articles there. So
Les writes about 100 blog posts a day.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, what happened to you don't ever write anymore?
I do write. I just have a lot of other people writing for me, so I don't have to write all the time anymore.
Work smarter, not harder. So, okay, we've talked about the travel aspect, so you're staying in just hotels left and right. What do you, as a traveler, look for in a hotel, and what are some of your favorite hotels in the Middle East, and well, not Middle East necessarily, but Asia, and just anywhere you go?
Well, actually, my favorite hotel that I stayed in was in Shanghai at the Peace Hotel, Fairmont Peace Hotel, right there on the Bund. But I mix it up. I sometimes stay in the upper level, like the Fairmonts or the Raffles hotels or Shangri-La. But quite often, if I'm just in and out for a couple of days and I'm going to be working just in a 2-star hotel, no-name 2-star hotel. If I go to Ho Chi Minh City or Da Nang or one of these coastal cities, I'll just stay in a 2-star by the beach.
Yeah.
Do my work. Yeah.
You must like the beach.
I do, but
good point.
But also, if you've been to Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, or Bali as well, you can get hotels for $25 a night. You got a motorbike if you're taking a motorbike around, and you get around town better than in the car. So I just look for a place that's convenient.
I just need an excuse to come visit you, like I don't know, a weekend. Long flight for a weekend, but.
Well, yeah, and if he comes, make a stop in Vietnam as well. There's some great golf in Vietnam. Great golf here in Bali, Vietnam, all along the coast.
Well, one of the things that I mean, yeah, golf is great, but if I'm going to Bali, I'm going to scuba dive. There's no way I'm going that far and not going diving.
Oh, certainly.
A really good buddy of mine in Thailand right now on a motorcycle documentary filming trip in Thailand.
Interesting.
Plenty of those. They're called tuk-tuk-tuks there.
I don't know what it's called, but he's having fun.
Because they sound like tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk-tuk.
At first I was like, how do you know that? And then you.
I spent 3 weeks in Karat.
Jason, final question from you. Man, it's been 25 minutes. This is crazy.
Last question, and international business has always intrigued me, so I'm curious how your perception of international business has changed since you are based out of Bali?
I wouldn't do it any other way. I was based in Michigan I grew up in Michigan and joined my family's firm there. Spent 13 years working with them out of university, and I just enjoy the international aspect, mixing with people of different cultures, doing business in different countries. I just enjoy it. At times it's more of a struggle, a lot more work, but you get the right partners, and it's makes life more enjoyable, at least for me.
Well, that's definitely motivating because I'm in the same boat. I want to work internationally as well, so that's really good to hear. And to hear that you don't necessarily speak multiple languages or speak them well, and you can just, you throw this at me, and I'm like, oh, what does that say? Pretty pictures. So that's a little encouraging.
Yeah, I don't do those translations. They've got people that do it.
Yeah. So Les, even though you did show up late, I'm gonna let you ask one more question.
Well, thank you, Ricky. I sure appreciate that. As a person that only remembers Vietnam as a sailor in the 1960s, how many golf courses do they have there now?
It's about 20, 25.
Wow, that's quite a bit for there.
And most of the golf directors or GMs are from the U.S. or Australia, Western
Really?
golf people.
So I know that when I flew to Thailand we went down the coast there and then cut across the DMZ, and the hair kind of stood up on the back of my neck when we did that. It's like, we can't go there, but we did.
And if you're walking the streets in Saigon or Hanoi, most people have the U.S. dollar in their pockets or carrying the U.S. dollar, so that's a major currency there. Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
Well, hopefully you'll be coming back to the States anytime soon. You got a trip planned anytime this fall or winter?
I was in Michigan 3 weeks ago.
You don't want to be there in the winter. I'm thinking more along the lines of California, Nevada, Arizona,
Florida.
In the next 6 months, I should be in Arizona, Nevada.
Well, please keep me in the loop with that with your travel plans. I'd love to take you out and play some golf and
look forward to it.
Drink craft beer. Les.
I have one quick question for him. Are you Michigan or Ohio State?
Oh, good question.
Well, I grew up in Michigan, so I'm a Wolverine fan.
So you're a Wolverine fan, huh? Okay.
I was I don't understand the question. Is that golf related? No. Okay, so we're not.
Craft beers are.
You drank one. You think that you thought it was a craft beer, but yet you don't remember which one it was. So I don't really know if you had a craft beer.
It was a craft beer. It was a local beer. I don't know what it was. It tasted good. I had two of them, in fact.
Budweiser is a craft local beer to St. Louis, Missouri. So
it wasn't. That's the reason I drank one, because it didn't have any Bud Light.
Do you drink Bud Light Lime? I could see you being a Bud Light Lime guy.
No, I don't. No, I don't like. I don't like fruit in my beer.
Okay, so we're not quite done. I didn't tell you about this part because this is my favorite part, and I think Jason likes this part more and more every week. But it's called the Back Nine, since the Back Nine is the sponsor of the Friday Foursome. It's just 9 random rapid-fire questions that are a little fun. There's one that gets asked every single week and will forever get asked every single week. But are you ready for the Back Nine? I know, Les, shut up.
Rapid fire questions. They need rapid fire answers.
I didn't even have to tell you. You know that. I love that. Nobody. It's funny because when sometimes I'll ask and then the person will think about it and they'll be like, "Well, I kind of like no, fast, rapid fire."
Or there's a why behind the answer.
Flashcards.
Jason, why are they rapid fire? I've never really thought about that. Pace of play. I mean, are we promoting pace of play here?
Yes.
These are your rules.
Oh yeah. Well, we're promoting pace of play. #TimePar. Okay, here we go. Are you a scuba diver?
Yes.
Have you ever had a hole-in-one?
No.
What is your favorite PGA Tour major?
PGA Championship.
Ooh, I like that. Good. Everybody says the Masters. Who is your favorite PGA Tour player?
It's been Tiger for quite a long time.
Man, I like you more all.
I swear.
The Mutual Admiration Society.
Coffee or tea?
The coffee.
What is your handicap?
13.
Will Tiger break Jack's record? Now, I don't have to tell you to be careful how you answer this because I have a feeling I know how you're going to answer.
I think you will.
Ooh, man, it's Jason, Les, are you guys listening to this guy?
Just
Love
taking
it.
the notch down.
I turned him off when he said he was a Tiger fan.
Chicken or steak?
Chicken steak. Chicken.
Chicken fried steak.
Chicken steak. That's a good idea. And besides going to bed because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, what is next for Bill Healey?
More coffee and then the beach.
Wait a minute, you left the beach, came back to do this, and now we're going back to the beach? I like it.
Life is tough.
Yeah, it is. Send a picture.
For somebody to adopt, please consider me.
Send me a picture of the beach on Facebook so I can rub it in Jason and Les's faces. They aren't at a beach. I'm not at a beach either. But Bill, thank you so much. We didn't really talk a lot about your company, but it was just so good talking about what you do in the golf business and more from the international aspect. And the last couple of weeks we've had some international guests, so it's been great to kind of see the international footprint that we've got here on Google+. If you ever need another article for Vietnam Golf Magazine, the golf community might not be a terrible topic. Just because of the number of people that are in it and the amount of content that's shared. Les had a great quote a couple of weeks ago about it being one of the best places online for user-generated golf content, and I think that could be and I'm trying to make that an initiative with the community and trying to grow the promotion of it and to get more eyeballs, especially from an international perspective in there. So, not that I'm pitching you to write another article about me and the community, but in case
we'll get there. and I'll pass the links to this chat to the Vietnam golf people and to the other contacts in China and elsewhere too to see if we can't boost up the numbers.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'd love anything I can do to help promote them and get them exposure. I mean, it is an international group of people in the community. I mean, it's so great to be able to see how much and to prove that we're sitting here having a conversation with no lag whatsoever. And Les can't even figure it out in Virginia, but you're sitting in Bali and we're in Arizona and Texas. And it's just cool to be able to see the technology that's available to us and to be able to use that to help grow the game of golf is what I'm all about. So
great.
Well, Les, go back to doing whatever you're doing with faulty internet. Jason, get back to work. I'm going back to work. And Bill, enjoy the beach. And as Jesus Martinez always says, make more birdies.